What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NCAA basketball show. Hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. That's to check out the entire show. We move on, but that is some Big Ten action. Max is on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights -5, -110, and the over 139.5 at -110. Let's roll. We stay at 9 p.m. action. Montana State Bobcats. 9-3, 6-0 in the Big Sky at Weber State Wildcats. 9-4, 4-2 in the Big Sky. Cat on Cat. Dee Events Center in Ogden, Utah. Let's see what we have. Weber State opening up as 4.5-point favorites. That number is gone. Now 6.5. There's a 7 on the board. Let's see what we have from a total look here. We have this total at 140. There's a book at 140.5. There's a book at 139.5. Montana State coming off their 7th straight win, 58-53 at Northern Arizona, but that was back on January 23rd. That set up a very exciting home and home with Montana that Max was all over, but that was canceled due to positive cases in the Montana program. Montana State is led by guards Xavier Bishop and Amin Adamu, who each average over 15 points per game. They score 74.9 points per game, hit 45.3% from the field, 33.6% from three, and nice at the stripe, 74.7%. Weber State coming off 2 easy road wins at lowly Idaho, winning the games by a combined 44 points. They have 4 players averaging double figures, but they're led by Isaiah Brown, who averages 18.3 points, 4.3 boards, 3.5 assists. They are strong offensively. They average 83.5 points. They hit 49.9% from the field, 41.3% from three, 76.2% from the foul line. Market moving in their direction. Max, Big Sky action, Montana State, Weber State. Take it away.
Yeah, Jim, Big Sky is one of my favorite conferences because they're one of the ones with common sense, with a proper streaming site for all their games, and you can watch it for free also tomorrow. I think that with Weber State, this is a very interesting matchup because I'll go out and say that maybe they've had a little bit of some cupcakes when it comes to their conference opponents, aside from their 2-game series with Southern Utah. I think that when it comes to Weber State against Montana State, these are 2 teams that definitely have similar defensive advantages, but scoring the ball is where the difference is when it comes to Weber State. With Weber State, they have extreme balance. They can have 5 or 6 guys in double digits with Jim, like you mentioned, Isaiah Brown leading the way. He is just an incredible point guard that I bet Grand Canyon wishes they had back. He is dynamic. He's explosive. He's fearless. And you know what? He's willing to step in and take a charge. So that is highly respectable. With Weber State, they really need to do a good job of winning on the glass, and they do have the size to do that with a trio of forwards that I've talked about before on the show in Cody Carlson, Dante Bassett, and Michael Kozak. I think that with Weber being on home court, they're going to have to own it because you're stepping up against Montana State. While both these teams have been very good for your bankroll, this is an elevated number. I would have taken Weber at 4.5. At 7 or 6.5, I'm not looking to back that. I think that although there is a very clear path for them being able to cover that number, they are going up against a quality team that scores around the bucket, like low, dirty areas. When you talk about Jabril Bello, this is a guy that's going to get on the glass. This is a guy that's going to score high percentage shots. Close proximity is his name of the game. And defensively, he's no freaking slouch either. You got a couple Canadians on this team, one that sees a little more playing time and the other not so much in Abdul Muhammad and Kellen Tynes. So obviously, if you have Canadians, you should play them because they'll help you win games. Ask Western Michigan because they went to Bowling Green and won as a 12.5, 13-point underdog tonight. But with Weber, the keys, Jim, are pretty simple. You need a fast start where you're +7 in first halves in conference, but that's aided by your Idaho series. You need lots of field goal attempts. If you're playing a slow tempo game and you're not at least getting enough shot attempts up, whether you're making them or not, then you're in a bad situation, and Montana State is going to be able to hang around. I think that if you see Weber State hitting 47 to 49% of their shots, if they're hitting 40% from the three-point line, if they're getting to the free throw line with frequency in both halves, then yeah, for sure they can run Montana State out of the gym. The problem is I just don't think that's going to happen. I think that you can limit Montana's drives, but then you have to worry about Borja Fernandez. You have to worry about Adamu going out to the three-point line, Xavier Bishop, Mike Hood. All these guys are capable of going off and giving you that outlier performance. I think that if Weber State can't force Montana State into making mistakes with the ball, whether that be a violation, whether that be walking into a charge, driving into a charge, whether that just be a takeaway, then they're going to be in trouble. So, in my opinion, at this number, you've lost all bettable value with Weber State. You have to come back on Montana State at this number. And when it comes to the total, it's just not high enough. Listen, Weber State is not routing Montana State, and if they're doing it, they got to put up 85 because Montana State's putting up 70 in this game. So, I'm taking the over. I'm taking Montana State, and I'm going with the team that I think has better Canadians. So let's go.
Well, we've got some nice numbers for you here.
Good.
First off, we have a 7. So let's start there. Let's give you that +7 at Circa. And then we have a total. It's 140.5 everywhere, but Bet365, which rarely gives us the best number. So that's at 139.5. So we move on Montana State +7 at Circa and the over 139.5 at Bet365. Sounds good?
Yes, sir.
Let's move on it. So we have, Montana State here +7 at -110 at Circa. And then we have the over 139.5 -110 at Bet365.